acting strictly in accordance with the facts.
Yes.
You know, that's all that ever amounts to, you know.
Yeah.
Just on mine, mate. This is just for it to sink. That's all.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Thanks very much.
Now what do you want?
So well, I'll just mention that thing again in relation to Fiat. You were accused of having a price, and one of the shop floor workers said, because I was chairing the meeting, and he said, and you said every man has his price,
Yeah.
and what's your price?
Yeah.
And you said it's the same price as Lenin. Socialism, and it actually took the house down, and it was never you were never pilloried again after that. And I always remember that, because very seldom do union officials use that kind of language directly to shop floor workers.
I told you, boy, I was always just careful.
Yes, but you weren't careful that day. You were very well. It didn't matter. It was in a different time. It was in a different time. It was in the 70s.
Still, even today, I never joined the Communist Party.
Yes.
Because as a seaman, and seaman knew a great deal about what's going on in Russia, and Stalin was. But I still quarrel with the Communist parties generally. Only the Canadian Party were the only ones who ever disassociated themselves from certain practices in the Soviet Union. You know, not against communism, but against certain practices in the Soviet Union.
Yes.
And things that were allegedly Marxist, and they're no more Marxist-Leninism perhaps, but they were not. Same with Mao.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, that was an awful thing. That was his cultural revolution, the great leap forward. Jesus, he destroyed millions of bloody people. But the Communist parties just simply kept on supporting them, and consequently their international reputation is
suffered as a result.
Stalinism and Maoism. But most of what they were involved in had nothing to do with Marx. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 or 3 books on the life of Marx, but he made a point several times, especially in the 1840, 1850, 1860, there was all sorts of socialist and ex-socialist organisations springing up across Europe, in particular Germany and England, and were following that line. And he said, not only once, if they're Marxists, I'm not. You know, but they trusted them, basically.
Although it has to be said, it has to be said down through the years that those who followed Marx in the trade union movement did make a big contribution compared to the others.
Oh yeah.
I mean, who in your experience, who would you have looked up as one of the most foremost leaders that you met and worked with in the labour movement?
Oh no, there was very few.
Young Jim?
I find it very difficult. I was very close to Jim Larkin, but Jim too was circumspect. You know, although he had been in Russia, and as his father had, you know. But Jim was always, but I was very close to Jim, and he was, but he had the same attitude as myself. Recommend them to do what is the right thing, not necessarily what they want, but what the facts dictate, kind of thing, you know. And he paid me a supreme compliment once. And he said I was in trouble over the Dublin pilots and the beat pilot strike, and some of the pilots were members of his union, and he came with me then when we were meeting at the board. But afterwards he said to me, "You remind me of the late Jim Larkin, you're always in trouble." That was his reference, you know?
Just on a different topic altogether, how did you get involved on the Late Late Show? You used to be on the Late Late Show quite a bit. How did that come about? With Gay Bourne?
I've even forgotten what the subjects were.
Well, you were involved as talking about deep sea diving. Because I remember you
but you haven't dealt with at all. Well, my many careers, and still is marine oriented. You know, that's We had everything in here.
Yes.
There's 400 books here alone to do with marine
Right.
affairs, you know.
Yeah.
That was what I... But I dealt with deep sea diving.
Yes.
I don't know. A few times I was...
You were a panellist with when the Late Late Show started. You were a panellist. You used to be on regularly.
That's right.
You know, and very few. And you were a trade union. You were in Congress at that time.
Yeah.
But you were generally. I remember you because you were generally on about deep sea diving, and I think I remember you being on when the odd was discovered.
Ah, yeah.
You were involved in that.
Yeah.
In Cave, and you were involved from a maritime
I
perspective.
discovered it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. That was quite famous.
Oh, absolutely. But as I say, all the details of it somewhere. But people have been trying for years to find it, and I finally got a man over from London, and he used certain instruments and certain information that the Hydrographic Survey Office, that's the people who draw the marine charts, etc. He was an expert in the hydrography, and he used various techniques, etc. But he was able to establish that, in point of fact, it was not where it's alleged, but that it was in a different position. There was a lightship down there, and it was a mile and a quarter east of that or something. I've forgotten all the details, but he pinpointed where it should be. So I had been driving down in the Blasket Sound, and two or three very good divers. Like, you had to be good. Or else, you know, as a matter of fact, there was a man called Grattan, who was a direct descendant of our Grattan, you know, and he was head of he was the captain of a Royal Naval diving vessel training, you know.
Yeah.
And he was pretty well in charge of us. And he was getting into our gear one day, and some fella had shown up who wanted to join us, etc., you know. And Grattan was watching him for a while, and he said to me, "Wait a minute, go here." He went over to him and said, "I tell you, you stay behind and make the tea first when we come in." It was the nicest person. I said, "Why'd you say that for?" He said, "That fucker would drown half." It was the way he was handling his gear, kind of thing, you know. But there was there's 26 ships there, but actually I don't know. I mean, Jesus, Michael, I'm 92 now.
Oh, okay.
And our memory is not
That's
good.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
okay.
might sound.
I think it sounds pretty good to me.
I know. I mean, you could ask me questions that I can't answer, kind of thing. You know,
right, okay.
I should be able to answer.
Right.
But there were so many issues, and quite serious issues, that I was involved in, especially at Congress, which I did. And when I was General Secretary of the Marine Port and General Secretary of the Pilots and Marine Officers Association, so many things, I just can't remember any of them. And as I said, unfortunately, Congress destroyed the records. Yeah.
Well, lost them anyway.
No, they destroyed them.
They destroyed them. No, a lot of unions do.
They never. Well, they were always very uncomfortable about. There were certain facts that emerged statistically, factually, data, etc., which in conflict with policy.
Yeah.
And therefore they get rid of the fucking thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I would never, I never agreed to that.
I know that. I know that.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think we've.
Yeah, there was
I think
just.
you'd have a cup of tea.
Yeah, best offer we had today.
Huh?
It's the best offer we had today.
Yeah.
There was one thing there though, Des.
What's he saying?
Just before we started, you mentioned Brendan Bean, and that you knew Brendan Bean, and you were smiling. So I'm just wondering if you have any memories of Brendan Bean, because it's only because that you were laughing when his name came up. I'm just wondering if you have any memories of him.
Well, I was telling somebody the other day, he shouted across O'Connell Bridge. He was on one side of O'Connell Bridge and I was on the other. And it was a dispute with Irish shipping limits, you know. And he said, "Look, that book is simple as Aristotle."
And how did you know him? Was it from growing up, or how did you know him, or the Beans? How did you know the Beans family?
He was very, God, he was a funny character. He was mixed up with what was known as the Animal Gang. When I say he mixed up with them, he had contact with them, kind of thing, you know. I had come down very hard on a few of them. The behaviour wasn't very pleasant, to say the least of it. Why did he get in touch with me? There was a family friend who was involved with Brendan on. I've forgotten. I just have forgotten. But I was quite close to him, you know. I mean, his first, the Quirple, I think, was, and I was living in Mount Street, and that was been shown in some kind of a building around the back of Mount Street and so forth. There was only room for about 30 people, you know, and there was a great bus going on. So I saw Brenda then, and I said, any chance you can get me a ticket? But Jesus, I got not fucking throwing the head. I got no bloody, I can't get in there myself, kind of thing, you know. But there was very, very many things. But basically, he was a very, very intelligent man, and very, very strong character. But unfortunately, he enjoyed business and he drink. And I have a son who said that position too. You don't mix those things together, you know. But I knew Brian and the other brother,
Dominic.
I was on television with them once, and at some stage or another, I was saying something, and they had to shut down. I kind of said, "Hey, what you're saying is right, and they're all afraid of you," you know. And the whole thing was shut off, kind of thing, you know.
And how was Brian Bean? Because he was a trade unionist himself. He was,
according to the mother, Kathleen, I think her name was. I forgot that.
That's right.
His father was a house painter, the same as Brendan was a house painter.
His father was president of the Painters Union with John Mulhall.
That's right. I want to say something about him. I forget what it was.
Stephen Bean was still the president of the Painters Union up until about 1970, the mid-70s. Because I remember Jerry Fleming, who stood against him and always lost. Jerry Fleming used to stand. Jerry Fleming was in the Communist Party with me at that time, and he used to stand against Stephen Bean. And the painters would always go down, and I told him, I said, look, don't stand against him, just let him return in his own terms. But anyway, so Stephen stayed on for years in the Painters Union with John Mulhall.
I got one of the television shows I was on. And I don't know where Brendan comes in, he doesn't come into this, but I'm just trying to remember. They put me off television and never let me on for around 20 fucking years, kind of thing. I had the issue was. I'm trying to think. Actually, it'll come to me again. But there was, nationally, there was bloody murder. Telephone to jumping off the bloody hook and so forth, something I said.
Wasn't about the clergy, was it?
Well, the discussion was concerned with the ecumenical movement. That was on the go.
Yeah.
And the fellow who was running that programme knew me, and he asked me if I would join a panel. And I did. And you had fellas, a couple of priests and people, Vincent DePaul or some of these specking organisations anyway. And they were all, I can't think, I'm trying to remember what it was I got into trouble over. I didn't get into trouble, but I was barred anyway. If only I could remember.
Should have kept it dirty.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, it created murder anyway.
Oh, well, thanks.
I'll think of it again some other time, you know.
Okay.
Shall we have a cup of tea?
Yes. Why not? Why not?
Because I need an awful lot to remember.
Yeah.
Stalin were not Marxists.
But